What's up, everybody? Back for another episode of Cream City Curveball. I'm your main man, Justin, in North Carolina.
And Piper.
Yeah, man, we're starting to get a little bit consistent with this, get in the flow of it, get in the groove of it, riding a jet stream over the fence. Since we're talking about jet streams over the fence, let's take a look at this. Homeless Athletics found a way to beat us again, Pipe. I thought that we pitched a pretty good ball game, man. Sproat, like we told you, if you pay attention to what we say, do the opposite, and you'll go to Potawatomi and you'll be rich. I thought Sproat looked like Cy Young out there last night. Cy Ray, as your old boy Colin Ray used to be back in the day, right? He pitched a
Oh
great
yeah.
ball game. Offense didn't show up at times. I mean, we scored in the first inning. Gary Sanchez hit an absolute moonshot. Jackson Churrio with a banger. And then we kind of got missing after that, though. I thought the A's hung around enough. They found a way to hit the home run ball. I think they hit 42,000 home runs in that series. But if you paid attention to the first video we did when we previewed the A's, I told you to watch out for Lawrence Butler. I told you there's a lot of talent there. And he wasn't performing up to the back of his baseball cards. Shout out Tim Allen. And Patrick made a pitch, and it happened to sit there, and he did what he's supposed to do with it, man. But what'd you see, Pipe?
Yeah, Sprout, he was great, and I apologize to him and his family. But my confidence level in him isn't very high, obviously, as you could tell from yesterday. But yeah, he looked really, really good. It was the same kind of thing. Sometimes we see it with this team, man, where they sit there and they score early, and then there is just a long stretch of zeros on that scoreboard before they, can seem to, try to come back at the end. But like you said, the A's, man, the homeless ones, they hung in there, and they just kept stacking zeros and kept it obviously within check, and then got hot at the end and were able to pull away Chad Patrick. Oh wow, yikes! That was a bad St. Patrick's Day. That's throwing up midway through the parade, man. That dude didn't even make it to the end of the parade. So that was ugly. But it is what it is. That field's a joke. They got to figure something out. Once the real stadium, once they become housed, unhomelessified, it can't play how that ballpark played. Even though game one was the most ridiculous, game two was less ridiculous, and yesterday was actually a semi decent game. Seemed like normal conditions, but who knows? It was ugly, man. I'm glad this series is over.
Yeah, let's stick on that Chad Patrick for a second, because that kind of leads me into a topic we've talked about a few times amongst ourselves, and now we'll share it with all the folks out there watching. Real quick, man, this is a pretty tough lid, man. This is the Wilson Warbirds batting practice. So shout out to our Wilson Warbirds, low A affiliate of your Milwaukee Brewers, right here in my backyard. But Pipe, let's get on this Patrick stuff for a second, man. So Patrick looked absolutely atrocious yesterday. I thought it was just weird the way things went with that ballpark. It seemed like when the temperature went up, the ball flew less, which didn't make any sense to me. But Patrick blew a save, blew an opportunity, whatever you want to call it. It may not have been a technical save, but basically kind of spit the game up a little bit, right? Now, if you remember a couple weeks ago, I was talking to you and I was like, that's why it's so imperative that we don't boo a guy like Abner Uribe when he struggles, Trevor McGill when he struggles, because this is part of the laws and averages of baseball. You're going to have guys blow saves like this. You're going to have your Kyle Harrison start a game and look bad. You're going to have a William Contreras, like this past game, ground into a double play when the game's on the line. So I think sometimes, and I'm not telling you how to fan, I'm just telling you what I see from my vision, from my four eyes. Sometimes these Milwaukee Brewers fans were too critical of these guys. They're going to F up. That's okay. But the important thing is to keep it locked in and be ready for us so we come off that rebound. So kudos to Patrick. His better days are in front of him. He's a borderline all-star in my opinion. I'm biased. I also think Ashby should be an all-star. That may be a segue to another topic. But what do you think about Patrick blowing it, the boos and all that stuff I just mentioned, bro?
You know me, man. I got no problem with the boos. You want to boo, go ahead. Obviously, it's it sticks out in your mind so much when the Brewers bullpen, why did I just say bullpen blows a game, because it never happens. Because they have been locked down for the last decade, it seems like. And so that if you sit there and hand a lead over to the bullpen, you're going to win that game. And every time they've done it over the last many years, we all count it as a W. So it is alarming. I get the emotion. I was booing at the TV too, and saying a whole lot of words last night to the TV that I try not to say on here. But so that's to me is why it sticks out and why it's so shocking. Yeah, Chad Patrick sucked. He was terrible yesterday. Do I have a problem if you boo him? Hell no, because he deserved it yesterday. But, we've all, Abner went through his struggles. Look like he's back to normal now, rolling them dice and stuff like that. So, these guys are going to bounce back. It's just a little minor bump in the road, but it's just so alarming because it never happens around here.
Yeah, it's absolutely shocking. And then for all you people that give us those comments and say all you two dummies do is agree the whole time, there you go. There's a big disagreement. He thinks you should be boo. I think you should positive nature. And that's okay, man. You know, ladies and gentlemen, you can disagree and agree to move on and still love the Brewers. That's the beautiful thing about it right there.
Amen.
Man, so I'm throwing a bunch of curveballs at you. We do a little rundown beforehand to talk about what we're going to talk about. That sounded crazy, but we do. And then I get on here and I don't take my ADHD meds. I never took them. Like I said, I was born in the 80s. They didn't put us in all these diagnoses and stuff. They just whooped you and put you in the corner and told you were bad. So I'm probably on every spectrum, possible spectrum, but it's all good. All-Stars. How many All-Stars do you see for this Milwaukee Brewers ball club this year, Pipe?
Oh, man. How many do I think they have, or how many do I think are going to get there?
Let's do both.
Probably 2.
Ooh.
For both.
Okay. Who are your 2?
2 and 2. Turang, Mizorowski.
Okay.
After that, there's some honorable mentions, Harrison, stuff like that. But Turang and Miz, I think, are the only 2 legit that belong there.
How many All-Stars do you think I see?
I'm going to say you're good. See, okay, I think what you got in your mind is going to be more than what you're actually going to say. I think in your mind you've got about 14. I think you're going to say probably 7.
All right, let's see if we keep this thing on the rack. So I agree with you, Miz and Turang for sure. I think Harrison should definitely be an All-Star. So we're at 3, right?
Uh-huh.
Aaron Ashby leads baseball in wins. I got to go Ashby. I truthfully believe William Contreras is the best best catcher in baseball. So I think he should get the nod for 5. Now this guy, this is one of the ones in my head, but I'm going to say it out loud. I got to go Chad Patrick All-Star before last game, man. I feel like he's done everything for this team that needed to be done. His ERA is super low. It's about as low as my GPA was at King. So, I mean, it's just everything possible that you could want. Now, granted, I know on the big stage and stuff like that, he's not going to be an all-star. Too many big markets. William Contreras is going to be blocked by Buddy from the Marlins, and there was maybe Buddy from the Pirates, too, because I think both of those teams will have one shot in, and that's it. But, I think we have 3 definitely. You might get to 4 or 5 depending on injuries, but we'll see, right?
Yeah, that's less than I thought you were going to say, so I give you credit for that. Chad Patrick, not a chance in hell. And Harrison, no. He's a no, too. And not just because of his last start. It just, has he had an amazing first half of the season? Yes. But we all know that that's not exactly what tips the scales for you in the All-Star games. A lot of it is have you made it before, hype, offense. It's the same thing like with people who win a Gold Glove. Well, he's not going to win a Gold Glove. Why not? His batting average ain't high enough. Well, what sense does that make? In baseball, it makes perfect sense. Does it make sense? Hell no. But it makes sense in baseball. So Yeah, I hope the number's closer to you than it is to me. But I think it's going to be 2 either way. But I do like your 6.
Yeah, Skeens, I think you just got to back Skeens out of it. I mean, I know they won't because the same way that Mizorowski got in last year is kind of how Skeens will get in this year, and that's off of the hype and the marketability for someone that can turn on the TV to must-see TV. So I think Skeenis will make it. Skeenis, not Skeens. But Harrison is blowing his numbers out of the box right now. And I just think he's a top 5 pitcher, and a top 5 to me equates to an all-star. But like you said, man, it's not about necessarily how good you are. I mean, your point was spot on with batting average not equating to Gold Glove standards. Make it make sense.
Yeah, you can't. So I got 2. You said 6. How many Dodgers you think are going to make it? Because I think there's probably like 2 or 3 that are deserving, and they'll probably have about 9 of them on the squad.
So I think the no-brainer is Ohtani, Freeman, and Betts. I think Teoscar Hernandez makes it. Possibly Yamamoto. An argument for Will Smith, potentially. And that's just more that big market thing. I don't think he's a top 5 catcher in baseball, but it is what it is. And I'm sure they'll find a reliever somebody else. So I think they'll have like 7 or 8. My math's probably way off.
No, I think you're pretty damn close. I'm with you on Will Smith. I always, team Chris Rock over on this side here, so I ain't rooting for his ass. No man hits another man with an open hand. You know what I'm saying? So, team Chris Rock.
Oh my God! All right.
Am I wrong?
No argument here, sir. You would not get an objection from me. Let's get to one of the biggest topics that is kind of debated on amongst Brewers fans right now. We're going to talk about one of our beautiful Brewers fans. She goes by the name of Front Row Amy. They are allegedly moving her seat without, a great conversation, a great reason why. We're building a new corporate area down there, and all you can eat. I think it's about $250. Back in our younger days, and we were still drinking and we were still eating like that before we took this diabetes seriously. Shout out to Garrett Mitchell. We could have probably went in there and did some real damage, Pipe.
Oh yeah. We made them seats worth it before the first pitch.
Damn right. We wouldn't have remembered any pitches after that, but we would have did some damage. So, thank God for those guys. I don't think you and I will ever buy a seat there because why? We're just going to drink a bunch of water and eat a bunch of hot dogs with no buns.
Facts. Yeah, the thing is it's sad. Was it an inevitability that something like this was going to happen? Yeah, you got to kind of get with the times and all that. And at the end of the day, sports is just a money grab. They're trying to put 3 hands in your pocket at the same time. And so, it was inevitable that something like this was going to happen, but it is sad. And especially for somebody like Front Row Amy. She's had those seats forever, goes to a ton of games. There's people that are sitting there and get on her because if she can't make a game, she sells her tickets. Well, what do you expect her to do? It's sad because it's happening, but it is kind of time, and it was surprising that it took them this long to figure out another way to scam the fans out of money. My problem is that when you sit there, when you've got a professional baseball team in this case, football's the same way. The hard thing for me is that now Wisconsin's kind of getting smacked in the face with reality here. I think long gone are the days, hopefully, all you Packer fans that tune into here aren't sitting there still pounding your chest. Oh, yeah, we're owned by the people. We're a community team.
I own them.
Oh, yeah, and I have that worthless piece of paper as well. But, we hopefully... I bought it 20-something years ago, so I had a different mentality then. this is not a community team. This is not a owned by the people. Because if it was, then every time when they show the rankings of highest NFL tickets, highest cost of NFL tickets, the Packers wouldn't be in the top 5. Because if they were a community team owned by the people, they'd be in the bottom 5. Because they'd be sitting there and it would be, supposedly, it's a nonprofit. Okay, let that sink in. You think that the Packers ain't making any money? Come on, man. So the whole thing is a lie, and stuff like this with the Brewers doing the seats and all that, and that's fine. Help your business and all that. But when every time you need money, every time, we got to sit there. We want to insulate so we can have more concerts, so we can charge you more money, and you can come and pay parking and pay for tickets and pay for food and pay for outrageous soda and beer and water and all that kind of stuff. We need a little bit more money to fix up this HVAC, plug these holes in the roof. They come to the taxpayers. They come to us, and they take our money, whether you're a Brewers fan, sports fan, any kind of fan at all or not. You getting charged. And then they sit there and go right behind your back and screw you like this as those season ticket holders. Those first 6 rows, 7 rows that they are going to sit there and change up. Those seats don't change hands. Those people have had those seats in their family, in their possession forever and ever and ever. You want to talk about diehards? That's diehard. Because they cut them checks every single year. The Packers started doing this stuff when they, you sold too many of your tickets. We're not going to give you season tickets anymore because you're bad, because a Detroit fan sat in your seat. It's just a load of crap. They're stealing your money. They're overcharging your ass. You showed a blind loyalty, and they turn it around and shove it where. So I understand why the Brewers are doing it. That doesn't mean I like it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a conundrum when it comes to this, because I feel like for the people that are criticizing Front Row Amy for whatever she's doing, man, just shut up. It's stupid.
That's right.
Like, if she sells her tickets or she doesn't, she paid for them. She has the right to do what she wants to do with her tickets. She goes to more games than all of us, including add in my Durham Bulls, my Wilson Warbirds, and all that stuff, and she still goes to more. And you can say what you want to say about her, allegedly this, allegedly that. That woman keeps a manual scorebook, watches a game, is intent, lives or die on every pitch. And if you're a Brewers fan, you should be a Front Row Amy fan because of what she loves the team the same way you and I do, Tim Allen does, Billy Schmidt does, Drew Olson does, Sparky Pfeiffer. Just mention guys down the sports gambit that love the Brewers, and she does. Same way that Bob Uecker did. So all you folks criticizing her, man, just please get the heck out the way. But let's talk about, does her seat need to be moved? I don't know. I really don't. I think that with the amount of time that she's put into the Milwaukee Brewers, I think the Brewers should do her a solid and maybe comp her tickets for a year and let her sit there. Who cares? There's certain people, we call them a lot of different words, pervs, that tune in just to see her behind home plate. We know why. So, but the thing about it, she's a mainstay, and she's brought nothing but positive vibes. I guarantee you could put her on this. Hey, matter of fact, here's an open invitation, Amy. If you're listening, if you ever do listen, you're welcome to come and talk with me and Mr. Pipe Bomb. Free way to get your thoughts out there. I know you got a lot of other people bigger than us. But she probably will talk a lot of people under the table with baseball, from the minors to the majors. So all the stuff people hating on her is just crazy. So anyways, we got that out the way. I said the same thing like 17 times to say stop hating on her. But is it time for everyone, we want to be mainstay, we want to compete with the Los Angeles Dodgers and New York Yankees and those guys, so it has to be done. It sucks. But like you said, this is mainstream media. This is mainstream market. We are no longer a minor league or a mid or just a tourist stop. We are a major league baseball town. One of the best ones, arguably, in all of the country right now. So I understand things have to happen. It sucks for Amy. I hope that the Brewers and her can come to an amicable resolution, and it works out best for both sides.
Well, one thing I do have a problem with is the whole idea behind the whole thing. Okay, how you sit there and the ticket prices in the first 7 rows, they're gonna redo the tickets. They're gonna be wider, all that kind of stuff. It's gonna look more luxurious and all that. It's also going to open up a separate section for those rich rich folks to sit there and have their own little section out, like by right field and stuff, with the food and drinks and fancy and snobbery and all that. But to me, the problem is going to be during the game. Because, okay, so all of a sudden, one of us hits the lotto and we get tickets in that section, Justin. Now all of a sudden it's the 4th inning and we're out in right field grabbing something to eat, hanging out, hobnobbing with the upper echelon of society, drinking our water with the pinkies up, you know what I mean? And so what's that going to look like on TV? Because we're not in our seat. We're not watching the game. Now all of a sudden, where all the camera angle is, it's going to be empty seats. Because the people are going to be in the air conditioning in the right field corner watching that sucker on TV, drinking with the pinkies up. So I think it's kind of a flawed thing in general. If you wanted to jack the hell out of the seats, that's fine. You want to sit there, jack it, the hell out of the seats, and then sit there and have a private chef, just for those select seats there, and we'll bring you your food. The tickets I got, my season tickets for the Packers, I can order food and drinks on the app and they come and bring it to my seat. They can do that same thing at AmFam. And so then when they're sitting there and you come back from commercial and they're actually showing the game and the plays and the pitches, it doesn't look like a ghost town behind home plate, which is going to make Milwaukee, who shows up and shows out every single day, over 1 million in attendance already so far this season, which is absolutely amazing. It's going to make us look bad and look like we don't care about baseball, because when they zoom in on that pitcher catcher and the delivery of the ball, it's going to look like no one's there.
Well, I think it'll stand out tremendously, too, at the nationally televised games, because there's a lot of people, no matter what sport you follow in the great state of Wisconsin, that love to hate on our state, right? They love to make Milwaukee look bad. I mean, that's the biggest reason why our minority owner is being allegedly forced out with those folks as well, too. But, I mean, Atlanta has the same type of thing with an all-you-can-eat thing and all that stuff down there. Theirs is actually behind home plate, though, so you could walk down in the tunnel and walk back out. I'm thinking when I went and I sat in it the one time, got fortunate where someone gave me some tickets in it. Yeah, man, you're right though, Pipe. There were lots of empty seats during certain times. It's tough. It's really tough, but it just has to happen, man. And it sucks. But I agree with you. The one mainstay about any major baseball game, you're going to see Marlins man behind home plate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he stands out like a sore thumb because he has a bright orange jersey. Front row Amy stood out like a sore thumb because she is who she is, and that's going to be missed when these new seats come. And when you don't have that, it's going to look bad on us, you're right, especially during the playoff games, especially during these World Series games. Follow what I did there, Pipe?
Oh, yeah. I love every word that you just said right there, and I agree. So I just think it's flawed. I think they could have came up with a better way to do it, a better way to make the upper crust of the fandom feel that much better than all the rest of the unwashed like us. And they want their own little space as far away from us as possible. Build another level of skyboxes and keep them up there so they don't ever have to rub elbows with with the plumbers and the electricians and the firefighters that sit there and work hard for a living to pay for them tickets. So, that's just my problem on it. And then the other thing with it, though, is that, okay, so, we both kind of said it's something that they had to do, kind of adapt to get with the modern kind of economics with sports. But even doing this doesn't put them any closer to L.A., doesn't put them any closer to the payroll of the Mets or the Padres or the Cubs, or insert 848 other teams that are going to have a bigger payroll than the Brewers, both pre and after this, which, if it ain't moving the needle, if the needle's staying in the same spot, why are you doing it?
That's why it's so imperative for when this salary cap comes, the salary floor comes along with it. If we bump up to that $175 million as a salary floor, that'll mean that we'll be able to keep 3 or 4 of these mainstay guys, and that might mean you keep a Bryce Terang and a William Contreras here in Milwaukee. That might, and that's why I think you're extending a lot of these other guys like Laura Pratt and Churio right now, because you want to bring in these guys and you want to lock in your guys. So I think that's another mainstay. And that's a great segue that you have with this salary floor, Pipe. It'll give us an opportunity to have some of our guys not just grow them and watch them go to other teams and suffer. I feel like everyone that's left, I can't name a Brewer that left and went to a different team for the payday and is doing better than when they were in Milwaukee right now off the top of my head.
No, you can't, because they all sit there, all of them excel here, and both David Stearns before and Matt Arnold now know when it's time to cut bait. And man, it has worked out in our favor so many times. It's an absolute glorious thing. I was watching on the Twitter machine a couple days ago. There was two talking heads talking about how the Brewers and how they're so much smarter than everybody else in baseball. And it was like 5 minutes long, and it was perfect because the Brewers are smarter than you. All the other teams know it, and that's why they sat there. They tried to close the gaps with the way that Greg used to sit there and manipulate stuff when he was the manager. They tried to close those loopholes. They're going to try to figure out what the Brewers' secret is and try to close those loopholes, because having the Brewers good doesn't do MLB pocketbooks any good, because if you got Brewers in Cincinnati on Big Fox on Saturday night, are the ratings going to be through the roof? No, not particularly. But are people who sit there and tune in outside the market that get to see Brewers baseball and the brand of baseball that has been played here for years and years and years, are they going to be impressed? You're damn right they are. And it's impressive what the Brewers have done for over, like 10, 15 years now. And so, baseball eventually is going to come and try to close everything, any kind of advantage that the Brewers have. But we got to enjoy it while we can, and that's why we got to sneak a chip while we can.
Let's do it. No time like the present, man. Let's move forward to these Philadelphia Phillies coming into your great city of Milwaukee, the great land, the good land, all that stuff in between. Coming to AmFam Field, we got 3 with these Phillies. I need 2 out of 3. I need to get back to winning series. I know that it's so imperative to me to win series. I feel like we let a couple series off the hook here, the Giants and the Athletics, but I think we'll get back on track with our winning ways. If I was a betting man, which I am, I would bet Friday for the Phillies to come in. I just think this travel log, this going to Vegas, playing this 9 o'clock game, who knows what time they got back. I know they got a complete day to rest, but it was just a lot of finicky BS going on there, man, and I'm not too excited about that. But we got to find a way to win. Last thing on these Phillies, man, it's a lot like these San Francisco Giants. The baseball team's record does not indicate what this payroll is, meaning there are a lot of great players on that roster, and we got to be on our A game. We got to be ready to play. This is going to be a playoff-level baseball team that hasn't figured it out yet. So I hope Crew takes 2 out of 3. Really excited for Miz Friday night. That's the only thing that might sway me and make me just waffle back and forth. Shout out to the Waffle House. I guess I was just there for Friday night. We might get that win Friday because Miz is on the mound.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Shout out to the Waffle House. I miss you. I got to get back south so I can take my fat ass up in there again, because that place is delicious. Shout out to Waffle Fries in general. I love you guys too. But anyway, off the food stuff. Yes, this team, the Phillies are a lot better team than what they're playing. They're only, I believe, 6 games over 500. They had the day off today as well, like the Brewers do. So they're going to come in better rested than the Brewers are, considering we were all the way on that close to the coast over there, and then had to play an extreme night game and then come back. So a lot of stuff early on sits there and points the Phillies' way. That lineup is still ridiculous. They've got so many big hitters on that team. You got to keep the ball in the yard. So obviously, Miz will set a good tone. Hopefully on Friday, if we get that one, I think if we win Friday, we win the series. If we lose Friday, we lose the series. That's kind of where I'm at here. So let's go, Miz. Let's cook them suckers up. Let's get it done. Let's pound the zone and keep the ball in the yard.
Pat, you mind if I switch my hat real quick?
Yeah, do whatever you want, man. You were half naked yesterday.
Yeah, sorry to our sponsors, our soon-to-be sponsors. Let's switch up and talk some of this college baseball World Classic. Getting ready to first pitch will be at Omaha. I don't know if you can see behind me, but I got the Troy hat behind me. My son's a Troy Trojan. Got the South Alabama Jaguars back there. My daughter is a South Alabama Jaguar. So the South Alabama, unfortunately, didn't make it, so we're not going to talk about my daughter today. We're talk about these Troy Trojans. You got a bunch of teams. You got Carolina. You got West Virginia. Massive teams. I don't care. Let's talk about Troy. That's all I care about. Who am I going for? I'm going for Troy. We got West Virginia tomorrow at 11 a.m. I think it's your time. So that means noon mine time. So I'm looking for my guy. I think it's Jude Rinaldi. Probably the best hitter in Troy history. If I pronounce your name wrong, I'm sorry. JR, if I said his name wrong, I'm sorry. This kid is probably, like I said, Pipe, he is the best hitter in Troy history. And then you got Mark Smart. We might need to draft him just because last name. We need a smart guy in the Brewers, right? And
yes,
they got their ace, Jason Fawcett, on the mound. So a lot of good talent for Troy. They shocked the world. They beat the Florida Gators. They won the Super Regional. They're in Omaha for the first time ever. I mean, if I hit that lottery tonight, you talked about sitting in those expensive seats, me and JR would be on a flight to Omaha. But are you excited about the College World Series? Have you been paying attention to any of these regional, super regional stuff? And just, where's your head at with all this stuff, bro?
Okay, so going into this season here, was I a big college baseball World Series guy? No. But the Milwaukee Panthers and the success that they had sat there and revved me up, and I watched so much of this year heading into Omaha that I'm still hooked, man, and I can't wait to watch a bunch of this stuff. I love everything about that game except the sound of the aluminum bat when it hits the baseball. Besides that, that's the only thing that's weird because it just doesn't sound pure. But besides that, I love it. I'll be rooting with you, man. Go Troy. I hope they shock the world. Hopefully Fawcett don't spring a leak. And that sucker can sit there and mow them fools down. So, yeah, I'm all aboard on Troy. But, I'm going to watch a whole lot of the College World Series. It surprised me how into it I got.
Yeah, it's great. And you mentioned the Milwaukee Panthers. Yeah, shout out to them, man. Just absolute epic run. So close. I mean, that's the difference when you have a big payroll and a small payroll. The small payroll is always going to get beat like that. Auburn, hats off to them. They played a good couple of games against the Milwaukee Panthers. But like you, all the way locked in on those Milwaukee Panthers. I don't have a pick for you who's going to win because I'm biased. I mean, it could be a multitude of other teams. There's a lot of great programs out there. And we'll see what happens, man. So I did have one other thing before we get out of here. I'm setting you up now because this is what I do. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the World Cup starting tomorrow.
The what? World Cup?
Yeah, you got USA versus Paraguay in Los Angeles tomorrow.
Okay, I don't know what a Paraguay is, but I'm rooting for the USA. I plan to watch just an absolute ton of this cup thing. I ain't gonna watch a second of it. The World Cup is like the WNBA. The only thing is the World Cup is better than the WNBA because it only happens every 4 or 6 years, something like that. They don't waste your time every single year. But I ain't gonna pay no attention. I don't care about that crap, man. That's stupid. But go USA nonetheless.
Second that motion, go USA. I don't have a breakdown of any players or anything else like that for you.
Use your hands, damn it.
Oh, man. I'll probably wear my Bryce Terang USA baseball jerseys just so I can fit in.
There you go. I'm surprised you're not going. Okay, so all kidding aside, everybody knows soccer's stupid, but the crowds are awesome. If I sit there and heaven forbid, I thank you for reminding me because I am going to go and change the batteries in every remote control now, so I'm not flipping and get stuck on that stupid channel and I can't flip it because that would drive me nuts. But the crowds are great, and the atmosphere seems like an awesome time. Like, I hate the Philadelphia Phillies, but man, would I love to go see a playoff game in Philadelphia when the Phillies are at home and in it, because that crowd is different, that atmosphere is different, and that would be the cool thing about going to see that crap whatever they're doing in L.A. But besides that, I ain't got no time for it.
Yeah, I thought about driving to Atlanta. I don't even know what countries are playing there. Just to say I experienced it once, but yeah. So for me, man, honestly, with World Cup, I appreciate it. I know we're not good enough to win, so it's like me paying money to know that we're gonna lose. I don't know. I would much rather see a women's World Cup than the men's one. I think the women's team is much better. They're a lot more fluid, and they play great soccer too. So, but we'll see, man. We shall see, man.
I don't know nothing about their team either. Don't know, don't care, ain't gonna. So, it is what it is. But I was going to say something about this about a week ago, like pretty much right when we started, because, they on Brewers TV, man, just inundate you with commercials on this crap. And, it gets annoying and all that. And to all the people out there and
Oh gosh, I really dig this soccer stuff, and the World Cup, especially being in the USA, it's gonna bring the rebirth of soccer, and soccer's gonna get real big in America now. Yeah, I really know it is, guys. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be wonderful.
that's all lies. Don't believe it. As soon as this crap is over, everybody will go back to not giving two damns about soccer. And so, is it ever going to hit big in America? I don't know. But is it going to hit big in the next 20 years? Hell no.
Yeah, we heard those same arguments in '94 when Chicago and Boston, some of those other cities had it. So hopefully it grows. I mean, I've been to a couple MLS events. They were cool to go sit in that section when they were banging on the drum and everyone was going crazy. But then after that, man, it's kind of like race car driving to me, where the start is amazing and then it's a bunch of left turns and I'm bored out of my brain. Look, we're just going to alienate a whole bunch of people. Race car people will hate us, WNBA people will hate us, and now soccer people will hate us. But if you love the Brewers, this is where you need to be.
And NASCAR, because I'm with you on that. I love me some NASCAR. But, R.I.P. Kyle Busch, American hero, legend, gone way too soon. But it is what it is. Everybody's got their own thing. If soccer's your thing, that's fine. Don't waste your time commenting about that I'm an idiot because soccer's stupid, because it is. But, don't waste your finger energy typing that crap, because, will I read it? Yeah. Are you going to affect my day? No. Do I care that you like soccer? No. I hope you like soccer, and if you do, that's great. And if you're excited for this cup thing, then great. But I have no desire to watch two countries soccer against each other. I don't want to know what time they're soccering, where they're soccering. I don't care who wins at the soccer. It's all stupid to me. But if that's your thing, enjoy the hell out of it, and I'm happy you're happy.
Crack one for the good guys. Go USA. We'll end on that one. You got anything else you got any other people to piss off today, Pipe? Are we good?
Oh, man, you want to talk about women? No, I'm just kidding. Let's get out of here.
Hey, man. This has been Cream City Curveball. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you watching. You can watch it today. You can watch it tomorrow. You can watch it 3 weeks from now. You can watch it in the shower with Pipe. You can watch it in the bed with Pipe. Wherever you want to watch it, enjoy it. I'm your main man, Justin.
And Pipe Bound.
This has been a Cream City Media Group production. Cream City Curveball. Go Brewers.